Thank you for listening to this episode of the Only Real Wrestling Podcast. Over the next few weeks, we will be releasing more podcasts. However, our official launch date will take someplace in mid-November. Thank you and enjoy. The Shield came back through an audience door. Team Honky Tonk took on Team Warrior. The Miz and the Bar may have gone too far. Rollins and Ambrose had their belts on the line. Emma was looking oh so fine. Finn Balor morphs from demon to man. Alicia Fox brings the crazy like only she can. Braun Strowman moved like a cat so fast, and a whole lot more on the Only Real Wrestling Podcast.
You are about to enter the world where our eyes tell us the truth. The Raw Loaf presents the Only Real Wrestling Podcast.
October 16th, 2017, in Portland, Oregon, will be the day that I will forever be reminded, just like every other Monday, how much I hate that drifting douchebag, Elias. The man who's so dumb who apparently has forgotten his last name, thank goodness sake, because that's one less word than we have to hear from him every week, Samson. But he's out there with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers, and they're out there, and what do? Oh, first off, as much as I hate Luke Gallows, because he's kind of a dingbat as well, he goes up there and he starts doing his vocal warm-up, but it sounds like Enzo Amore, that little hyperactive chihuahua. But they get out there and they sing the Honky Tonk Man song. Why? I didn't know until Team Ultimate Warrior came out with the Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil and Jason Jordan. Well, they come out, they give their right dues to the Good Brothers and that dingbat Elias Sampson. They get the pinfall victory over that three-man tag team. And thank goodness they come back from a commercial break. And there's Emma. And Emma is so wonderful. Let me tell you the most wonderful thing about Emma. For months, she teased us with all of these beautiful pictures of herself. And then she's like, well, that was another side of me, everybody. Now I'm going to go back to who I am. It's like she's a little dark, but she's so beautiful, it doesn't matter. And then Alexa Bliss came out, and that stupid manipulating dingbat Alexa Bliss just comes out, runs her mouth, and of course everybody hates her. We have our cruiserweight division still, and I'm going to get to Enzo Amore here in a little bit. But now we had Jack Gallagher taking on Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander brings back up with Rich Swann, probably one of the best dancers I've ever seen ever. And Gallagher, of course, has brought out his little recent teammate in Brian Kendrick, who tried to interfere with the match, didn't work. The dance machine, Rich Swann, came over and stopped that from happening. But, oh, man, was there ever a lumbar check that basically broke my back from watching it. And Cedric Alexander got the win. Oh, and then we get the main guys, I guess you'd call them, because they were out on the show most of the night. The Miz with his little buddy Curtis Axel, and the Bar of Sheamus and Cesaro come out. And the funniest thing is, I wonder if Sheamus lives in a world where there are no mirrors, because the crowd started chanting, "You look stupid." And he does. I mean, in all honesty, he's dumb and stupid. Almost on dingbat Elias Sampson level, but not quite. But Curtis Axel? Why is the crowd chanting for Curtis Axel? That guy is terrible. He hangs out Miz. Maybe they were cheering for his suit. His suit actually did look kind of nice. Maybe they were cheering for his shoes. Those wingtips, I swear he could do a flying back roundhouse kick and cut a man in half with those shoes he was wearing. But they say it was Miz TV. His guest was Braun Strowman. Why did Cesaro have to talk? That idiot shoved his teeth back into his jaw. I don't even know why they even bother giving him a microphone. Can't understand what he's saying. He's got so much stuff in his mouth. And of course, the Miz is like, me. But whatever. Kurt Angle comes out and saves the day. Just like he saved the beginning of Raw today by making some pretty awesome announcements until the Shield came out and they were like, oh, we're going to surround you, Kurt. And Kurt was like, what the F, guys? What are you guys doing? And then they were like, oh, well, Roman Reigns is like kind of mean for like how nice of a guy he is. He was like, you need to get out of our ring or we'll beat you up. It's like, why would you do that? But anyways, so they set up a couple matches later on in the night, which I'll talk about later on. And that crazy woman, Alicia Fox, has a match with Sasha Banks. And we can't get over how much Alicia Fox like is just crazy, right? But Sasha Banks wins, of course. And we all knew she was going to win because Alicia Fox said that last week she was trying to scratch her nose. Only losers make up excuses like that. You will only hear people like that, like Alicia Fox and Elias, come up with excuses. Just so bad. Like, she even showed the video and was like, you weren't trying to scratch your nose. Although when Sasha Banks put the bank statement on her, the ref may have been in love with Sasha Banks because when Alicia Fox tapped, it wasn't really a tap. She looked like a beached like whale that had arms, and her arms were just kind of flapping around. To me, it didn't look like a tap, but the referee's decision was the referee's decision. Sasha Banks won via tap out. But you, of course, know what happened after that. Angry loser Alicia Fox goes into the back. It's always weird when wrestlers are like walking around in the back. They're always like looking around. I don't know what they're looking for, but maybe Sasha Banks was looking for Charlie Caruso because she wanted to talk about how awesome she was against Alicia Fox. But you wouldn't have even gotten the chance if that hussy Alicia Fox wouldn't have run in and attacked her from behind, and then she pushed a ref, which we found out later on in the night she got fined for. So good for her. That's less money for her to buy some maybe she could buy up some books and get smarter or something. So Enzo Adame, this guy comes out running his mouth. Here's a question for you all. Who says their name the most? Enzo Adame, Paul Heyman, or Elias? They all say their names way too much. It seems like that's a thing that dumb and evil people do. It's like they have to say their name to get over themselves or something. But there's one thing that like has always impressed me, and since this is the first time I'm ever going to talk about it, I'm going to probably talk about it. But Kalisto, I know he learned it from Sin Cara because nobody did it before Sin Cara. But how does Sin Cara and Kalisto jump over the top rope? They say they're from Mexico, but I think they're from Italy or something. And they probably went to plumbing school. But Kalisto and Enzo go back and forth a little bit. And then Enzo apparently took his millions of dollars in merch or something and paid a whole bunch of guys in the form of Noam Dar, Davari, Drew Gulak, and Tony Nese to come and beat up a helpless Mexican man. And the only person to come to help him was Mustafa Ali. And then nobody came to help those two guys. It's like, come on, everybody else. Where are you all at? Maybe Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann got hurt in their match earlier. But the weirdest thing about this is how after they were done beating up five guys beating up two guys, after that proud moment in their chapter of WWE in their wrestling biographies, Enzo started walking out of the ring. And everybody else filed behind him and walked like ducks. And if you start to think about it, Enzo does kind of look like a duck. So maybe they should change his name to Enzo Aducky. Okay, that maybe not. And next up, we had an extremely exciting tag team title match between Rollins and Ambrose taking on the Bar of Cesaro and Sheamus. And of course, the Shield wins. They haven't been together in a long time. They're in the building that they debuted in, except back then they were kind of bad guys, But now they're great guys because they have so much more experience, and they're all made up with Seth Rollins. You know, he took one for the team and bit his own pride and ego. But the one thing afterwards I don't understand is, so Curtis Axel is the apparent cheerleader for the team of The Miz and The Bar and possibly Braun Strowman. And he goes and says, I'm going to go beat up Roman Reigns. And they're like, no, you're not. And then Braun Strowman says, well, go do it. And they're like, are you chicken? And then Curtis Axel goes, he sees the Shield. And the next thing we know, Curtis Axel is hanging upside down. And he's got what looks like big hickeys on his ribs. I don't know if he was hit there, if he was kissed really hard there, or why Roman Reigns would kiss him there. But there wasn't enough evidence to exactly see what it was. It just looked really weird. Next up, Finn Balor came out, and this guy is charismatic and exciting as he is. He comes out and he... I'm getting scared just thinking about it. I mean, how did he do it? He was out in the ring, and of course last week we saw Bray Wyatt turn into his sister Abigail character. But that was on video, you know, it's not as scary as if he was actually there or she was actually there or whatever. But Finn Balor was doing it right in front of us. It was kind of scary. It scared me all night long. I had to close the door to my closet. I mean, is he a real demon? How was he transforming? But there's one thing I'd like to bring up that Booker T said. He said, Finn Balor has been unstoppable since coming to the WWE. That obviously isn't true, Booker T, because the night he won the championship, he was stopped for 6 months by the then evil Seth Rollins. Stop lying to us. You don't have to lie to us. It's all right there. Oh, man, but Emma saves the day again. I'm glad it was all about her after that scary debacle with Finn Balor, the demon. But she came up to tag up with that wench Alexa Bliss to take on Mickie James and Bayley, in which Mickie James won the match at no fault of Emma. Emma did her job, and Alexa Bliss, just with her ego, I mean, do they take a bike pump and stick it up her nose before the show? Because that woman has an ego the size of Texas, and I know she's from Columbus, Ohio. Maybe that's why she has a big ego, because she's like, come blow us, we're from Columbus. Sometimes some people just need to shut their mouths, don't you think? And the conclusion of Monday Night Raw brings us to a steel cage match between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Now, the stipulations of this match are pretty interesting. If Roman Reigns wins, then Braun Strowman is not in the match at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. But if Braun Strowman wins, the team of The Miz and The Bar and Braun Strowman, they get a fifth member who we found out from The Miz a few minutes prior was not Curtis Axel, obviously, because now he's got these big hickeys on his ribs. You can't wrestle like that. He's got other things on his mind. But at one point during this match, Roman Reigns tries to run up the steel cage. Braun Strowman runs over and he jumps up, and it was like, okay, he got up. Good for him. Corey Graves, with cat-like agility, Braun Strowman gets up on the ropes. Yeah, maybe like a fat cat, Corey Graves. Oh my gosh, you need to learn that just because somebody's big and they move doesn't mean they're fast, okay? Call it like it is. And there's one thing about this match, they actually lock the door in the match, which is what they're supposed to do. Otherwise, everybody, it must be really hard getting out of that door sometimes. But of course, those idiots from The Bar come out and they have to stop Roman Reigns from getting out of the cage. But thankfully, the rest of the Shield shows up. They beat him up. They go to the back, and then The Miz goes and locks everybody out from getting into the ring or even back into the arena. They're out in the parking garage. Can you believe that? That ugly, dirty Miz. But anyways, here's the big shocker of the night, if you haven't heard all by now. Kane! It's gotta be Kane! He comes back, And we're like, what is he doing here? Is he going to beat up Braun Strowman? Because Kane used to be, like, for a demon, he was kind of a good guy. But not anymore. That mean, burned up prick went over to Roman Reigns and chokeslammed him twice. And then he did his brother's finisher on him. Can't even come up with his own moves. Tombstones Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman decides, this man's already, like, down for the count, but I'm going to do 2 running power slams because that's my move. And he wins. And now at TLC, it's going to be 5-on-3. Tell me how that's fair. But there's one thing that I like is that there's still the pre-show. Some things can happen during the pre-show, as we saw Ty Dillinger at the last pay-per-view put himself in a match. Maybe the Shield can get a 4th or 5th Shield member. Maybe it'll be the Undertaker. Oh man, maybe it could be somebody cool, you know? Maybe it'll be like Devon Dudley or something, but I guess we'll see. Make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at TorpPod, TORWPOD, TorpPod, as in the only real wrestling podcast. And listen next time.